So you want to grow a business, you want to be successful, you want to make money, you want to have status, you want to have fame, you want to have all these wonderful things. And today I'm going to tell you two very real reasons why you should not do this and why you shouldn't grow your business. Now, I would say that entrepreneurship and owning a business has probably been overly glamorized the last 10 years due to social media. And a lot of people don't realize that you can actually get really rich with a job. As much as people take the piss out of it, like if you were number 2 at Facebook, Apple, wherever, Google, you would be a billionaire. So you don't have to just work for yourself to become successful. Now, if you look at why you shouldn't be looking to grow your business if you currently have one, there's 2 huge reasons. And I say this to people a lot of the time. And this is going to resonate with you if you have a business right now and you don't think outside the box and you've kind of been at the same level for a long period of time and like, why is my business not growing? Why are all these people surpassing me? These will be the 2 reasons why. Number 1, for you to grow your business and to get the success you want, same as building muscle, you are going to have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Because if something was easy and it was already within your comfort zone, you would have already done it. Your business would have already grown. If you are not willing to push yourself above and stick your head above the parapet and have it shot off and do the extra work and do the things that it takes, then this probably isn't for you to continue to grow a business. You might have slow growth, but then you have to do one very important thing to understand if that's not for you, is to reset expectations. And most people have expectations bigger than their work ethic. And that's the reason why they personally have resentment, frustration with their business. And I say this wholeheartedly, having worked with probably near 1,000 trainers at this point in scaling their business. I have never seen anyone who has had the attitude, it will do whatever it takes to grow their business and not be successful. And I can see that in terms of the way their calendar is set out, in terms of how they manage themselves in the business, where they spend their money, and like even things like looking like what do they watch on social media? Who do they learn from? What books do they read? All these things have a huge outcome. And for you, if you're in a position right now where you're in a series of stagnation or a series of decline and things aren't the position you want, you have to understand, is this because I'm not willing to put myself in a comfortable scenario where I'm going to get someone to maybe pull my business apart, tell me things I don't want to hear? And one of the things I would say is a strong character trait I have is I always ask people's feedback, opinion, because the biggest thing I'm afraid of is ignorance tax. I don't know what I don't know. So what can someone see from a different perspective I can't see? Maybe it's a client, maybe it's an employee, maybe it's a mentor who's mentoring me. These are the things that are holding you back right now. The discomfort of having difficult conversations. And this is where I'd also think about, I would rather be known for being a good man than a nice man. And being nice, like to your employees, to your coaches, to your clients, doesn't actually get them results they want. But being a good man, actually like pushing them to the level that can be and pushing the business that can be, makes you a good man. And it's the same thing in terms of how you treat yourself. And that's where they're saying that the world is a mirror, not a window, because anyone who has frustrations with other people and tries to pull other people down, it's a part of their own insecurity that's triggering that. And that's where you have to manage and control that psychologically. And you also have to start to develop a high level of emotional intelligence. One of the best things you can do strategically right now is do what's called the Big 5 Ocean Personality Test. And it'll give you a good breakdown in terms of how your personalities are wired, and then maybe even how you can manage your own expectations. So the first reason why you should not grow your business, you're not willing to take risk, you're not willing to get uncomfortable, you don't have maybe a higher stress tolerance, because the higher you go up the ladder of success, the more difficult it's going to get. And it's a bit like that old saying that there's 3 people on a ladder. There's one on the bottom, there's one on the top, and there's one in the middle. Which one do you want to be? The one who's still climbing. You want to be continuing to progress, because when you see progression in your life is when you find happiness and fulfillment and you get the things you want. But with that progression and climbing the ladder is going to come a lot of discomfort. Now, the second reason why you should look to grow your business, and this is the one that most people like to try and blame, and they say is the reason why people don't sign up for their coaching programs as well, is because you are not willing to invest in yourself. The only other reason you shouldn't actually look to build a business is because it can cost you money. But Charlie, doesn't mean if I'm growing my business mean I make no money? It might do long term, but often what happens is this. With business, you have to take one step back to take 2 big steps forwards. Now, the reason you are not seeing the progress you want, you're not willing to take 1 step back to take a gigantic 2 steps forwards, because you're still using outdated marketing techniques from 2020. You're still using shitty Canva graphics and posting, I'm looking for 5 guys or 5 girls. No one gives a fuck. Like, this is why you are stuck, because you're still trying to do things that worked 5 years ago. And the reality is you have to understand things change very quickly. And I referred to ignorance tax earlier. You are afraid of investing in yourself and spending money. But do you know what's costing you more than the money you're afraid to spend? Is the ignorance tax that's eating away at your future and you right now. And that's where you have to kind of reframe that, like, the best investment you can ever make is in your business and in yourself. Why? Subconsciously, that is a vote of confidence that you are going to make this thing work you join. You are going to make the ads that you pay for work, that you are going to make the mentorship or coach that you pay for work. Like, you have to look to improve, because if you are looking to stay where you are, you will stagnate and regress. If you want to move forward, you have to look to level up. And what's happening in the world right now, everyone else is leveling up. Things are leveling up with technology, with AI. And this is essentially where it's going to be like the great separation. It'll be a lot of coaches coming out of the industry, and I see that consistently. Why? Because they don't keep up with learning, keep up with improving the business. And then there'll be the other end of the spectrum. There'll be a few coaches who will absolutely decimate and their businesses will grow faster than ever. They will have more income coming in, more time freedom, and actually help people at a larger scale, but also get a bigger reward. And that ultimately comes down to their ability to actually understand, okay, I have 2 resources in my life that are important. One is time, one is money. One they print, which is money. One, which is time, you never get back. So the thing, what you actually want to do is you want to spend the money to protect your time and get that back. And then you can speedball your way through this journey of entrepreneurship to get ahead of the pack faster and further. And a lot of people said to me, you've done a lot in 5 years since you left your full-time job. And do you know how I skipped the queue? I just paid the price to pay the ignorance tax quicker than anyone else, because I found the person who did the thing that I wanted to do and I just paid them. And then you learn the secrets without the pain. And that is literally how simple this game is. And if you're a fitness coach listening to this, it's the exact same framework in terms of how your fitness clients want to lose weight without the pain and the ease method, because you know how. It's the exact same thing for us scaling coaching businesses, because I've personally built a coaching business to the highest level myself, and I've helped hundreds of others do this at the exact same time. And when it comes down to that, if you can find anyone who's done that, they are the highest level of authority in whatever they do. And this is where you need to reframe your mindset. Instead of having a fear mindset, to have an abundance growth mindset. And the more you have an abundance mindset, the more success, the more money, the more things will fall in your lap. And one of the things I've always found is when I don't need money, money just appears. But when you're chasing it, it runs away. And this is where you need to reframe your frequency and the way you think and the way you look at things and the way you act every day, which will then be the ultimate thing that determines your outcome. And most people think they have a mindset problem. You do not have a mindset problem. Because right now, think about this. Try and give me a definition of what mindset is. You don't have a mindset problem, you have a behavior problem. And if you have the behaviors where you're constantly investing in yourself, you're constantly looking to try and learn, and you're constantly trying to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, you eventually become great at anything you want to do. And if you want help at building a great coaching business and being a great coach, if you drop me a DM on Instagram, say, listen to this podcast, I'll personally send you a message back and we can show you exactly how we can help you become our next success story. Or if you just want to book in for that and hit the link below this video, you can do that straight away. If you took some golden nuggets from this, please take a screenshot, share it in stories, I'll repost it on Instagram, leave us a 5-star review, and we'll see you next episode very soon.